No, I didn't hear anything today. I cannot believe how silent the streets are. And I don't know if it doesn't even feel like the calm before the storm. It just feels like there's a real repression somewhere. I think people are afraid, and I don't know what they're afraid of.
Do you think in the end that 56% of the population of Senegal actually did vote for Wade?
I just can't imagine it. I don't know where these 56% are. That's what everyone is saying. Where are they? You know? Where are these people?
Since last Sunday, they've been already putting in people's mind, making them accept that Abdoulaye Wade is the next president. But generally, I think people are disappointed because that's not what they were expecting.
It was like going to a funeral. It was spooky, and it made my blood run cold. We went to the palace, and he came in his dark suit, and he sat down and just said, I congratulate Senegalese for voting for me. There was not one sole instant, and I didn't attack anyone. That was his opening speech.
There was nothing going on. There was no sign of joy winning the elections, no nothing. I mean, even I think to them it's kind of unbelievable. I don't know. I think they're not really proud of this victory.
I don't think anybody at this point could prove that the elections have been rigged.
There's a fine line between something being illegal and something being, you know, it's hard to tell when. I'm not saying he rigged it, but I'm not saying that it was clear. I'm saying it wasn't clear, you know.
There were some problems, but I don't think those problems were significant enough to determine in one way or another the outcome of these elections.
People were hoping at least for a second round. Because like this, it really seems like they've been cheating, you know, because, I mean, from 15 candidates, it's really unbelievable. No one can understand it, that only one candidate can have more than 50%. That's kind of bizarre. And I think people who are really thinking about how politics, how the system is going on here, they're really questioning the system right now.
Pour man, góor gi dafa faluwaat kon ni mu falawaatoon bee paas, c'est-à-dire falu ñàkk pexe la falu. C'est-à-dire que dañ koy sànnal suñu carte malgré pour man Abdoulaye Wade vote yi leer na mais vote ñàkk pexe la faloo. C'est-à-dire moom moo fi sës quoi, mënuñu moom moo fi sës moo tax ñu fal ko.
kii góor gi waaw deful dara parce que ñun bëgg nañ ko dindi man voté wu ma pour moom bëgg naa ko dindi mais sama morom ñoom xamuñu suñ ko dindee kan la ñu teg fii.
If I was Senegalese, I would be afraid of two things. A, he's invested a huge amount of money in projects, the airport, the Corniche road. Projects which, if he pulls out now, that's a lot of wasted money. And Senegal doesn't have money to waste. The second thing is that I think things are stable here, but I think it's fragile. And I think that being in a region where everything else around is fractured, it makes you aware, you know, how things can turn. So if I was Senegalese and I was in an unstable situation financially and I'm living in a potentially unstable political situation, maybe, you know, you vote for Wade because you know what you're going to get. And he's not a tyrant. He's not he's not Conte, you know. He's not like getting his armed forces to gun people down for calling a strike.
Waaw, ñu bari dem nañu bëgguñu ko parce que nit ñi amuñu liggéey. Amuñu courant amul day tàkk di fay. Yokk na lépp denrée yépp yokk na. Nit ñi seen dund dafa gën a am jafe-jafe. Wante ñu xool Abdoulaye Wade ak 14 candidats moom moo ci tane. Yeneen candidats yi wóoluwuñu leen nit yi wóoluwuñu leen comme moom moo tane yeneen ñi ñu teg ko fa wante ça ne veut pas dire que baax na moom baaxul moom tuuti la tane rek ñële tuuti la tane ñële.
fu mu perte mooy Thiès ak Kër Madiabel foofu la perte le reste partout moom moo ko gagné kon léegi yow comment tu vois naka ngay imaginer loolu bu fekkee dëkk bi dafa metti ba léegi kon man par rapport ak sama xaatir li ma gis rek mooy ñàkk pexe la.
xëy coupé courant ndox toute la journée pétrole essence gaz fépp la manqué.
donc métit bu ñu amoon 2000 bokkul ak métit bu ñu amoon 2007 bokkul quoi mais ba léegi nii ñi ngi dund coono ñi ngi am na ñu du lekk gaz bi dafa seer suukar bi seer na diwlin bi seer na transport bi seer na jeunes yi amuñu liggéey ñu ngi dugg gaal pour dem Espagne donc métti na trop.
ñu dem say xelaw ñu delloo tas seen yaakaar ak ñuy des diggante Dakar Îles Canaries waaye soobu si géej gi c'est de la connerie. Peace.
I think for the next years that is really what hip hop should be committed to, you know, really explaining the people how the system works. Because mainly, most people are voting, but they don't know what happens after. That's exactly where the politicians were kind of winning, you know, telling people that it's a right for you to vote. But they're not telling people it's a right for you to check what is going on after the votes.
This is a country I love, and I think that people, I don't think that the people, like my friends, people on the street, I don't think they're getting the full story of what's going on, and I don't think they ever will.
fi nga dëkk fa nga dëkk loo fa deful def ko feneen say xalaat bu jariñul sa ay mbokk jariñ ñeneen jaloore baax na ci nettali li ñenn sumbu démb tey ñeneen di yeggali.
If people really were so against Wade in the way that people seem to be, that they would rise up. And I heard people saying, you know, yeah, we're going to fight. I don't see anyone fighting. I don't see anyone even talking about this.
People were somehow disillusioned, and there was some sort of a disappointment, and people did not view politicians actually as they viewed Wade in 2000 anymore. They thought that, well, they're all the same. I mean, you hear that a lot, they're all the same. And I think that has also made people wary, the youth, the rap musician, wary of politics, of politicians.
xam nga lan moo tax bu njëkk dafa bees Sénégal ñëpp bëgg rap maintenant ñu yàgg comme ñun ñu ngi màgg même Amérique noonu la bu njëkk ba dañuy def nii mais léegi xaalis ay bling amatul rap Sénégal tamit noonu la mais am na ñuy rap am na ña nga xam ne seen discours ba léegi dañ ko maintenir mais am na ña nga xam ne ñoom rabatuñu léegi si bëri rabatuñu rap bu bëri bu aat bi quoi.
I see like the kind of core guys like that have been doing this all along, like Human, Awadi, Katie. I see them carrying on doing what they're doing. I see the rap scene rising again when things fall, you know? I think when it's got to the point where, I think when everyone's on an equal level, like if things get really bad here, I mean, sort of in terms of infrastructure or, you know, no one's earning any money or things have got really politically or sort of socially unstable, then I think people will feel like, fuck, we've got nothing to lose. Let's fight through our music again, you know?
I think sometimes it must be kind of disappointing when you feel that you're all alone in a fight. Maybe some people are just like, I'm gonna stop it. I'm the only one fighting. Coming back to hip hop, I think that is now the fight for the rappers. Just like to make people think about this whole thing, you know, and put politicians in a position that they will have to explain to people how this country is getting ruled.
lañu xamul luy dëgg sa nguur demul bu ñu dëgg réew mi gëmul dañu muñ ba dee ku nga woowi dik 100 mètres lay mujjee dik waaye taxul ñu ne miig dañu muñ ba dee 2007 ma ne carte la lépp jaar ci yoon charte la ñuut ndaaj rek yow marche la.
People will keep on fighting for sure. Some people at least.
Wallo